I stood at my kitchen window, watching the dawn paint the quiet street in soft pinks. I'm Emily Harper, and mornings like this, coffee brewing, lavender candle flickering, used to feel sacred. I'd cook for Daniel, my husband, with the love that weathered every storm of our marriage. Our little house brimmed with warmth, framed photos of happier days lining the walls. HD once slipped notes under my pillow, called just to say he missed me, planned impromptu drives to the coast. But lately that Daniel was a ghost. His job consumed, and I couldn't recall the last time his eyes met mine, with anything but distraction. I told myself it was a phase of marriages, ebb and flow, right? Pushing the thought aside, I plated his bacon and eggs as he strode in suit sharp, phone in hand. Morning, he mumbled, barely glancing up. Made your favorite, I said, smiling. He grabbed his mug, took a sip, and shrugged. No time late already, my smile wavered. Maybe dinner tonight. He didn't look back. Maybe busy day. The door shut and my heart sank. Something was slipping away. Nights grew long, the TV's hum, my only company as I waited. Daniel came home past midnight, cologne unfamiliar, his steps heavy with exhaustion or something else. Kid blamed work at first, the late hours piling up, but the signs multiplied. No more midday texts, no chatter over meals, just grunts if he spoke at all. He didn't notice my new sweater or the way it curled my hair. In bed my hand found his butt-hatched roll-away. Fainting sleep one evening, I set out. A late supper hope, flickering. He walked in, loose shirt rumpled. Eyes distant, late again. I said softly, work's insane. He muttered, dropping his bag. I swallowed hard. We could take a week and dream about the lake. He laughed, cold. Emily, I can't, things are shifting at the office. That phrase, things are shifting, killed me. Was it just work or us? I wanted to press, but fear silenced me. He brushed past, and I stood there. The gap between us widening. A doubt crept in, sharp and relentless. Daniel guarded his phone like a secret, took calls in hushed tones behind closed doors. His wardrobe sharpened, new ties, crisp shirts, gym visits, HHT never cared for. Then the business trips started, vague answers trailing his departures. One day, cleaning his car, I found Ida receipt from a boutique jewelry store. A silver necklace I'd never wear. My hands shook as I held it, suspicion curdling into dread. That night he came home, eyes avoiding mine. Where were you? I asked, folding towels, casual as I could manage. Meetings, he said. Too quick. I lifted the receipt. Found this? He froze, then smirked. Office gift. Galec's birthday. The lie was smooth, but his flinch betrayed him. I nodded, throat tight, as his phone lit up. Lauren. My chest burned, but I stayed silent, clinging to a fraying thread of trust. The truth wasn't subtle anymore. Daniel's detachment screamed at late night's lies. The way he glowed at texts I didn't send. Who's that? I asked one dinner, voiced steady, despite my racing heart. Work, he snapped. Eyes on his screen. Work, named Lauren. I pressed, soft but firm. He glared, annoyed. God, Emily. Drop it, I pushed on. You've changed, you don't see me anymore. He shoved his chair back. I'm tired. Not now. He stormed off, leaving me with cold food and a colder realization. Didn't care enough to fight in bed alone. I faced it. The manhood promised me forever had checked out. The breaking point wasn't quiet. It was loud, public, humiliating. Had his company gala. I wore my best dress, hoping for a flicker of us. But Daniel barely nodded my way, his attention locked on Lauren, stunning in emerald green, orbiting him like she belonged. Guest whispered, their pity stinging as he laughed with her, my arm brushing hers, while I stood alone. Wineglass trembling. Overheard words cut deeper. He's smitten, takes her everywhere. Poor wife's clueless. My stomach churned. He didn't hide it, not from them, not from me. I left, tears held back until the car. Vowing never see me break. Next morning I snapped. He strolled in, casual as ever, pouring coffee. You humiliated me, I said, voice low. He shrugged. Don't start, Emily. I slammed the counter. You flaunted her very own saw. He sighed, irritated. Lauren's a coworker. You're overreacting. You don't even lie well anymore. I shot back. Trembling, he crossed his arms. Fine, things aren't the same. We're done, you know it. His bluntness hit like ice. So I'm disposable, he nodded, unflinching. Yeah. I stared, loved draining, replaced by resolve. He wasn't worth my tears. Days later. Divorce papers sat on the table. His signature start final. H moved to the guest room. A stranger in our home, I signed instead he ending us. It's for the best, he said. Passing by for you and Lauren. I snapped. He didn't flinch. Sign it, Emily. I did. Silently swearing I'd rise. He left and the silence row aired empty. But mine I'd rebuild an aged regret.